In the last few years, we've seen a copious number of lawsuits in the music industry with artists and record companies claiming their songs were ripped off by other artists. It seems pop musicians especially are coming under fire in these cases, so it leaves a lot of discussion open as to what constitutes plagiarism in music. Fortunately, Doom community music is freeware, so anyone can get a MIDI simply by downloading an existing one or requesting a composer make one. At the same time, given the abundance of music and Doom WADs in the community after all these years, it's no surprise that many modern compositions may sound like ones from the past, intentional or not. If intended, contemporary musicians will often pay tribute to prominent composers who made music for WADs in the 1990s and early 2000s. Today, let's explore some of those MIDIs written over the years that sound like or reference those from days gone by. Let's start with a case from mapper and composer Darkwave. In 2011, he wrote a track for the Plutonia Revisited community project called You Are My Enemy, which can be seen as a sequel of sorts to James Paddock's Become the Hunted from Plutonia 2. Have a listen. Speaking of Plutonia 2, another one of its MIDIs, Sam's the Man by Jamie Robertson, bears striking similarity to a certain sinister Bobby Prince track we all know from the game responsible for all this. Sometimes, composers will pay homage to music written for games outside of Doom. For instance, James Paddock's Back to Saturn X track, Escape Velocity, is an energetic piece heavily influenced by Lee Jackson's Goin' Down the Fast Way from Rise of the Triad. See if you can detect the similarities. This isn't the only MIDI to reference Rise of the Triad. Another notable example is Speed of Tech from the Alien Vendetta MIDI pack. Composer The Ultimate Doomer 666 admits in the MIDI's metadata that Speed of Tech was directly inspired by Lee Jackson's work. Some MIDIs are more implicit in their references to other tracks. One notable example is the track Glue Star, another Darkwave original, but this time from Speed of Doom. This track creates a brooding, eerie atmosphere that calls on the Mucus Flow theme by BPRD from Community Chest 2. You can especially hear this in both tracks by way of their low-pitched brass instruments. The same concept applies to Tristan Clark's Darkest Hour from TNT Revilution. Despite using a different instrument roster, the track closely mirrors Leo Siebin's popular TNT Evilution track, Legion of the Lost. While it may not sound immediately obvious, Clark pulls this off by retaining the same chord progression and time signature for Darkest Hour. Then there are tracks that feature hooks or riffs that sound like other MIDIs, but it's unknown whether these bits were added intentionally. John Weekly's titular track for Resurgence features a melody that sounds just like another Bobby Prince classic, They're Going to Get You. Returning to Lee Jackson for a moment, the beginning of his TNT MIDI pack piece, Stomping Grounds, is pretty close to the opening of Total Nothingness, one of Bucket's tracks for TNT Revilution. This could be just a coincidence, though, as the two tracks otherwise bear little resemblance to each other. This last example may be the most subtle of all we've covered here today. In fact, this may be a stretch, but I'll leave it for you to decide. Tristan Clark's Tranquil Land, which appears in Intergalactic Xenology 2, shares a similar chord progression to James Paddock's Farewell, Old Friend, used in Lost Civilization. What do you think? This is by no means an exhaustive list of examples. In fact, we've barely scratched the surface in this video, and a complete list of MIDI references would likely be impossible because there are numerous pieces of music out there. That said, there are still many more that can be covered, and I'd love for you to share any MIDIs that you know of that reference others, so comment them below, and I may cover them in a future video. And with that, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned something today. Give this video a thumbs up to let me know you liked it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Doom music-centered videos like this one. Until next time, this is Ray from the Phobos Amphitheater, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.